Are you ready for a lesson on acid? I hope so, because today's episode is all about acidity and wine tasting. Stick around to learn more. Welcome back to DiVino Wine School. I'm Annie Shapiro, certified sommelier, and we are diving right back into the tasting part of the process, the gustatory evaluation of wine tasting. Today is day 10, all about acid. Let's get started. Acidity in wine tasting is as much about taste as it is texture. Whereas tannins, which we'll talk about in the next episode, is more of a feeling than a flavor. I know that can get confusing, but that's why I'm here. As usual, please do not hesitate to ask me any questions in the comments section, and I will check them every day and get back to you. So how do we talk about acidity, and what does that mean for your wine? Think of lemon juice, the way it tingles the tip and sides of your tongue. Better yet, get a lemon, slice it. If you need to press pause, I'll wait, but this is really the best way to experience acidity. For those of you who have a lemon, because you knew we were talking about acidity in day 10 because you're enrolled, hint hint, the link is down below, grab that lemon and rest it on your tongue and see how it feels. Acid, citric acid in particular, works as a naturally occurring preservative in wine and all kinds of things. You've probably seen it on the ingredient list of some of your favorite packaged foods. In wine tasting, the younger the grapes and the younger the wine, the more acidity is present. In addition, some grapes are naturally higher in acidity than others, like this Barbera d'Alba that I brought today. Do you remember all those words for acid we talked about in day 3? When we talk about a wine as being crisp and bright or filled with energy and verve, that can mean one of two things. Either the wine is in fact young, or aging especially well, like me. Go ahead and pour yourself some wine if you've got it, and let me know in the comments if you are drinking what we are drinking, which is Barbera d'Alba, in this case a 2017. We evaluate acidity in a few ways. 1. Intensity. Is acidity the first thing you notice? Is it the primary characteristic of the wine when it first hits your palate? Or is the acidity more of an afterthought compared to other things like body and sweetness? 2. Is the acidity long-lasting? Does it tingle all up and down your palate, or does it fade away pretty quickly? After you've had a sip and you've swallowed, do you still feel the acidity lingering and tingling on your tongue, at the back of your throat? If you do, that is when we use words like long, zesty finish or a bright, long finish. Acidity is a distinguishing characteristic of a lot of grape varieties as well as wine-growing areas. You can expect wines from cooler or mountainous areas to have higher acidity. This is because as grapes ripen, they lose some of that acidity. Think of unripe fruit, how tangy and sharp it is. This is the same concept. Because acidity is a natural preservative, wines that are made to age for years, like Bordeaux's and Burgundies or Brunellos and Barolos, are grown and harvested and blended in such a way as to ensure a balance of acidity in the final product. When you are drinking a wine known for its acidity, like Riesling, remember it is an important and positive quality. Wines made of Sangiovese and Nebbiolo, the grapes involved in Chianti and Brunello and Barolo and Barbaresco, all wines that are destined to age for a long time, can come across as extremely sharp when they're young. That's a nicer way of saying acidic. Extremely bright is even nicer. Acidity also works as a balance to sweeter wines, extremely aromatic wines, and full-bodied, robust wines that might otherwise sit very heavy on your palate. We'll get into this more in later episodes, but remember, the key to fine wine is balance. A harmony of every aspect of the multi-sensory experience, from what you see, to what you smell, to what you feel, and what you taste. I brought this Barbera d'Alba with me today. I also brought, as usual, black cherries, dried cherries, and canned tart cherries to practice smelling. The Barbera grape is notoriously acidic, but it also has these beautiful deep black cherry notes and brambly blackberry notes, as well as this rustic earthiness that, when accompanied by that striking acidity, makes the wine feel almost chewy and juicy on the palate. Barbera has a way of filling up your palate while never weighing it down. Have you ever had an extremely aromatic, aged and sweet Riesling? Riesling connoisseurs love the way that wine blankets their palate in satin and explodes with notes of peaches and apricots and flowers. But the finish is clean and pristine with that perfect pinprick of acidity that keeps you wanting another sip. Acidity can also make your mouth water, and this is why it is such an important part of food and wine pairing. Food and wine work together to bring out the best in each other. Acidity, along with tannins and bubbles, help to clean your palate and clear the way for the next bite, especially if you're having something creamy or fatty. Likewise, that creaminess and fattiness helps to temper the acidity, making for an all-around smoother finish. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, what you drank today, if you noticed the acidity in your wine. And of course, this is your last reminder to subscribe and enroll. It's free to stay up to date on what we're drinking, tasting, and talking about every week. Cheers!